last lap. You can do it. It's 4.7 seconds. 5.6 seconds. It's a one of a kind. Only in the DTM. Yes, man, you did it. Thank you, guys. Go, 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 go! Yeah!
Hello there, greetings and salutations from the Norisring. We're here in the German Monaco, the only street circuit in the DTM calendar 2015. We're thrilled to be here, and Norisring is as unpredictable as ever. You never know whether it's going to rain or sunshine as now. Fact is, it is unpredictable also in regards to the results. So let's check out what happened here this weekend.
The Norisring in Nuremberg. One of the highlights every season in the DTM, the German Monaco is loved by drivers and fans alike. It also happens to be the absolute favourite of the dominant driver so far this season, Jamie Green, the championship leader with 3 wins in the first 4 races. He loves the Norisring and has already won here 4 times. However, his fellow Audi drivers are ambitious rivals too. Matthias Ekstrom and Eduardo Mortara are ready to pounce if Green slips up. However, Mercedes have traditionally dominated the races at the street circuit in Nuremberg. Cars from Stuttgart have won every race here since 2003. Robert Wickens took the victory last year, but Gary Paffett, Christian Vettoris and especially the best Mercedes driver of the season so far, Pascal Wehrlein, have their sights set on first place. BMW rate as underdogs here, although it's a home race for the local boy and the champion Marco Wittmann. Bruno Spengler has already won here 3 times, but isn't among the favourites this year. And just as the rain starts to fall, David Coulthard, former DTM star, looks on. Let's take a look at the grid. It's a pole position front row lockout from Mercedes-Benz with Christian Vettoris and Gary Paffett P1 and P2. The king of the Norisring, Jamie Green, P3, and Paul di Resta, good quali, in P4. Pascal Wehrlein, P5, and Augusto Farfus for BMW is on P6. Then we see Robert Wickens and the champion Marco Wittmann on the next row. Going from P9 and P10, it's Miguel Molina and Martin Tomczyk. Danny Juncadella and new to DTM for 2015, Lucas Sauer, P11 and P12. The next row is an all-BMW affair with Bruno Spengler and Maxime Martin. Ex-Formula 1 star Timo Glock and Eduardo Mortara are on the next row. Then we see Tom Blomqvist and Antonio Felix da Costa, P17 and P18. Nico Muller and Maximilian Gertz, P19 and P20, and then a real surprise that Matthias Ekstrom and Mike Rockenfeller going from P21 and 22. Bringing up the rear, it's Adrian Tombe and Timo Scheider, P23 and P24. As usual, the setting and the atmosphere are fantastic at the Norisring, although conditions on Saturday problematic with a heavy downpour just before the start. What is the right choice of tyres, particularly for our pole sitter?
Here we are in the pouring rain, and I'm here with the pole setter, with Christian Vettoris. Now, it is perfect for you in regards to the fact that you aced the qualifying and you're starting in pole position. But however, now looking at the rain, what do you think about that? Is that good for you, or who knows?
Well, we find out soon. It obviously makes it more difficult. I would definitely prefer an easy dry race now, where we're starting from. But obviously we can't choose. It's wet now, makes it more difficult, more challenging. But first of all, we need to have a look how we get off the grid. Hopefully I get a good start, and then we see where we are.
But I mean, it's also good to know that the first 2 race weekends didn't go that well for Mercedes-Benz. Now it's looking good. Maybe even the rebirth of Mercedes-Benz?
I hope so. I mean, Norisring was one of the best tracks we ever had from Mercedes. We had had the best place Mercedes, I think, for 13 years here. So it looks promising. Let's try to keep the history up.
Gary Paffett starts from P2, has also gone for rain tyres. This will almost certainly mean an additional stop compared to rivals who perhaps opt to take on the wet track on slicks. And that's exactly the decision taken by the championship leader, Jamie Green, although it's a big risk. A lot of water still lying on the track in the early stages at least, so the risk of coming away empty-handed is a big one. Now, the season campaigner Paul di Resta starts from fourth. He too goes for the safer option of wet. After a good start to the season and third place in the opener at Hockenheim, di Resta has now failed to score points 3 times in a row. The best placed Mercedes driver in the standings is the youngster Pascal Wehrlein, and he opts for all-out attack. He starts on slicks, aiming to make 1 stop less. So a mix of strategies from Mercedes-Benz. Let's hear from Uli Fritz now.
Obviously now it's a question about the tires, so what are you aiming for?
Yeah, exactly. I think we have to wait for a few more minutes until we see how the track develops, if it stays wet or if it dries down. Actually, it is, the forecast is it will not rain anymore, but it's just we are not in the center of the weather, so yeah, it will be hard to decide.
But do you have a good strategy for the top 4 cars?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the qualifying, we had this afternoon, which was really good for us. It's a little bit difficult to gamble on tires and wet and dry conditions. So, yeah, we will see.
All right, but all in all, it seems like you guys are pretty nervous at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's always the thing if you're right at the front of the grid, you rather don't gamble, and if you're in the back of the grid, you rather gamble. So, yeah, it's always the usual game in the end.
The best placed BMW driver on the grid is Augusto Farfus. His best finish of the season was a modest 10th in the opening race, well below the ambitious Brazilian's own expectations. Marco Vetman's disappointing season continues as well. He is a further 2 places further back. The reigning champion already looks in trouble in terms of defending his title, as BMW are quite simply off the pace so far this season. Strategy for today? Here's Jens Marquardt from BMW.
Best BMWs are in P6 and P8. I'm sure you're still not up there where you want to be in the front. However, are you kind of hoping for rain to mix it all up?
Well, I think we've had rain already, so now it's already mixed conditions, and you can see some guys on wet tires, some on dry. It's going to be quite a crazy first lap, I think, and especially first corner. So, yeah, I think there's already a lot in the mix.
So now in regards to the tires, we've already heard some of the drivers, the tires are being mixed up. Now, the thing is, what are you planning on a clear strategy in regards to tires, or also are you ready to gamble a little bit?
Well, I mean, you always have to do a little bit of a gamble. At the same time, obviously, now with the conditions that we have to see how it really develops. Now it looks like it's going to be dry. Back there is a bit of a shower maybe coming up again, and those develop quickly, so you have to react, and you have to be prepared for anything.
So, as the audience look on expectantly, there are tense faces among the bosses from Audi, BMW, and also Mercedes-Benz. We have 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are racing. Good start seemingly from Gary Paffett and Christian Vittoris. Gary Paffett's going to try and protect the inside line into the Grundig hairpin. Now, bear in mind, Jamie Green is the first of those cars that we see that is running on the slick weather tyres, and already it looks like he is going to be mugged. Losing out his P3 place, he runs very, very wide through the Grundig hairpin, regains 3 abreast they go. Problems there for Moliner, for Auer as well. So that has left 2 cars sideways.
Reverse.
Moliner being told to reverse, he's caught up in that. You see how much spray is being kicked up, but Mercedes having it all their own way at the moment. The top 4 places as the rain continues to come down. The brollies are up, as you can see, and safety car is deployed, which will bunch them all up right at the very start of this race. So here then from our heli shot, you can see the replay. It's Blomqvist who runs right up the inside. Looks like Lucas Auer gets a little bit of a shove from Maxime Martin. He in turn goes into Moliner, and that spins those 2 around. Blomqvist recovering from being on the inside, just clunks the outside of the Lucas Auer car as well, looks like it. See it again from this angle. There's Blomqvist who's on the inside of the turn. And I think Lucas Auer got a little shove from Maxime Martin, to be honest. Let's hear from Lucas Auer.
The crash with Molina, yeah, we were in a train. Molina, me, and behind me, I don't know, maybe a BMW or something. And Molina lost already a little bit the car in the corner, so I tried to brake down, but then I got pushed from behind, so we all ran into each other, and even he and me spun, yeah. So we were both out. So also the guy behind me.
Okay, so as we see a replay of the start, then Lucas Auer confirming what we thought we saw, and that was that he got a little shove. Robert Wickens with a blistering start there. Bear in mind, some of these cars are on slick weather tyres and some of them are on the rain tyres. The rain tyres clearly beneficial in this, but if the track dries out, that's when the gamble may pay off for those who are on slicks already. Vettoris and Paffett absolutely together going into turn one, and Christian Vettoris just with a little bit more traction getting out of that Grundig hairpin, and that's where Moliner, Auer, Maxime Martin and Tom Blomqvist all involved in that, and Nico Müller involved as well as he gets shoved into the wall. Okay, restart of the race then, and the 4 Mercedes at the front of the pack. So into the Grundig hairpin once again. It's Vettoris from Paffett, from Wickens. Then it's Paul di Resta running a little bit wide there. Manages to gather it all up though as they head towards the Cholet. Once again, Jamie Green in the Audi, who's really battling on those slick tyres in these wet conditions, and struggling for grip and struggling for visibility as well, as you can see. Maxime Martin, it's a retirement for him. He was called out on the first lap. Here he is.
Maxime, we didn't quite see what happened. At the moment, I mean, you are best BMW so far in this season. However, why did the race end for you so soon? What happened?
Yeah, we decided to start on slicks, which with some other drivers. And I had a little contact with Eduardo Mortara, but side by side, nothing special. And the rear wheel, the rear right wheel broke, so difficult to understand why, because it was really light. So to understand.
So Maxime Martin then, and as you can see, Vettoris has gapped Gary Paffett, who is P2, and now Robert Wickens is all over Gary Paffett. Wickens is the quickest one out there at the moment. Of course, he's got to find a way past Gary Paffett. There's Vettoris P1, and here comes Robert Wickens then. Absolutely sails past the number 2 car of Gary Paffett. So Robert Wickens moves up a further place. He is now P2. Great drive in there from Robert Wickens, who really rather likes the Norisring. So see that overtake in replay. Here it is, king of the late breakers there, Robert Wickens.
Vettoris is 3.2 seconds, 3.2 seconds. You're purple now, sector 1. You made 3/10 in sector 1 too, Chris.
So Team Radio advising Robert Wickens what he's got to do to get on terms with Christian Vettoris then. And the gap to Vettoris, some 3.2 seconds. The best Mercedes driver on slick weather tyres at the moment is this man, Pascal Wehrlein. He's slowly speeding up.
Christian, box this lap, pit stop now.
And reinforcement then that the slicks are beginning to work, because Christian Vettoris is being told to box this lap. Also boxing is Gary Paffett. So those that were on wet weather tyres are now realising that being on slicks is going to be advantageous for the final part of this race. In comes Paffett. Engine note rises, Paffett on his way out. And there is the man that is already on the slick weather tyres. That is Pascal Wehrlein. So the effective leader is going to be Wehrlein.
Okay, Christian. Hit speed first gear. And spray the brake, pit stop now. New set. Keep pushing.
So Vettoris been advised he's going on a new set then. Here comes Vettoris and Robert Wickens in at the same time. It's going to be a battle between the two of them. See the Audi mechanics standing by as well. But in the meantime, Christian Vettoris and Robert Wickens in at an identical time. Who's going to be the quickest here? Vettoris, 3 seconds. Well, virtually identical between the two of them.
Okay, Christian, watch the white tape. Push now, Pascal is coming, push.
Push. Pascal's coming, but he wasn't able to push enough. Pascal Wehrlein is the lead driver now. So it's Pascal Wehrlein leading from Christian Vettoris, Robert Wickens and Gary Paffett, the new order. So Wehrlein with a comfortable margin over Vettoris, but Vettoris on a new set of rubber.
Okay, don't forget, you have your new set now. A new set of tyres. 25 minutes to go.
Just as we say that, the radio traffic, which is frequent today, confirms that. So Christian Vettoris on a new set of tyres. So Mercedes dominance at the moment. Ernst Moser from Audi not looking very happy about it at all. This is Paul di Resta and Bruno Spengler battling here. And Spengler pushing di Resta wide, and di Resta then getting tagged by Jamie Green. If my memory serves me correctly, that happened here at Norisring last year. So Jamie Green moves a place up as well. Now, this is how close Spengler and De Rest have got.
P8 at the moment, P8, and everybody ahead is on slicks.
And there you can see how both Bruno Spengler and Paul De Rest are touch, and so too Jamie Green and Paul De Rest, and Paul De Rest are losing out there. No question about that. Meantime, of these Mercedes battlers, it's Robert Wickens is looking the most feisty at the moment. Bear in mind, we know Christian Vittoris is on a new set of slicks, but Robert Wickens is on an absolute charge here. And, of course, with DRS assist as well, he's able to get past Christian Vittoris. So it's now Robert Wickens who is P2 and chasing down Pascal Wehrlein. And now that Robert Wickens has been released almost from the clutches of Christian Vittoris, he is absolutely flying. On board with Christian Vittoris. And there we can see the overtake from on board. David Coulthard looks on and pleased with the dominance that Mercedes-Benz are showing in these conditions here at the Norisring, that's for sure. So Wickens chasing down Pascal Wehrlein, then it's Vittoris and Paffett. The 1, 2, 3, 4 going the way of Mercedes-Benz. Best of the BMWs is Augusto Farfus there. So there's Rob Wickens, Christian Vittoris and Gary Paffett. Best of the Audis, Jamie Green as Paffett passes Christian Vittoris. So the order for Mercedes-Benz changes once again. Team radio.
Okay, Christian, defend your position now. Defend your position.
So Christian Vittoris will act as the buffer then to protect the top 4 positions for Mercedes-Benz, and Augusto Farfus is not going to find it quite as easy to get past Pascal Wehrlein, but Bruno Spengler gets past Augusto Farfus. As you can see, is Jamie Green going to do so as well? Indeed. So that changes the order once again. Let's see it on board from the Jamie Green car. Bruno Spengler and Jamie Green going through. Augusto Farfus allowing Bruno Spengler to go through, but losing out to Jamie Green at the same time. And now Pascal Wehrlein is going to be under pressure from Robert Wickens. So the order then is Wehrlein, Wickens, Paffett and Vittoris, all for Mercedes-Benz. And then it's a way back before we get to Bruno Spengler and Jamie Green. So from the heli shot here, the top 4 cars going through the Grundig hairpin and heading up towards the Scholler S. This is Martin Tomczyk on Jamie Green, up the inside. And here, a very rare mistake from Matthias Ekström, who locks up and runs wide and loses a handful of places in so doing. So the all-Mercedes affair at the front, and Pascal Wehrlein at the moment doesn't seem terribly troubled by Robert Wickens. He's coolly defending his position. Robert Wickens just taking a look, as you can see, and then Paffett and Vittoris all closing up under braking as well. Last lap of the first race here at the Norisring. And what a dominant start for Mercedes-Benz this weekend. Wehrlein, Wickens, Paffett and Christian Vittoris through the Scholler S's and onto the concrete paved area. Bear in mind, these roads are public roads ordinarily, but once a year they make way for this fantastic DTM weekend here at the Norisring. So Pascal Wehrlein will be heading towards the checkered flag. He sees it in sight now, and Pascal Wehrlein takes his second DTM win. Let's hear from his team radio now.
Take up.
Well, it wasn't exactly the message of congratulations that I expected to hear. What dominance from Mercedes-Benz, though. Pascal Wehrlein, there is our race winner. And let's go back to team radio.
Pascal, you're still alive? How are you?
He's such a cool dude.
Thank you very much, the whole team. Tough race.
congratulations, a fantastic race here. I mean, the top 4 Mercedes-Benz have got a double victory. Couldn't be happier, could you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all we could expect from this race, the Saturday race. So it's absolutely great. I mean, all the guys did a great and fantastic job. Of course, with Pascal, it was kind of a gambling in the beginning with starting on slick tires, but this went quite well. And yeah, we're more than happy.
The top 4 results then go to Mercedes-Benz, followed by BMW duo Bruno Spengler and Martin Tomczyk. The best Audi is Jamie Green in 7th. Something of a disappointment for him at his favourite track. The Mercedes personalities, though, including 3rd-placed Gary Paffett, are overjoyed.
Mercedes-Benz is doing really well in this season, and you're happy with the 3rd place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, slightly disappointed. I started on the front row and I was aiming to win the race, but the rain shower before the start really mixed things up, you know. We started on wets. I mean, Pascal started on slicks, and it was a brave decision. You know, he did a great job on the tyres. And then I struggled the first few laps on the wets, and Robert got past me. But then once we were on the slicks, the pace was really strong, and I was really happy. And, you know, we were just not wanting to destroy the cars at the end of the race. I mean, we all thought we could go quicker, but it was a good race. Great to be on the podium, and for Mercedes, it's fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, just a perfect race. Fantastic.
So Robert Wickens will be very happy as well as we see him in slow-mo. He collects what is his first podium in season 2015.
You settled down to P2 because that was kind of our impression we've got, but because you were close to Pascal, but you just didn't quite attack him there. Did you even use DRS in the end?
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Pascal drove a great race. I was quicker than him at the end, but you know, I didn't, like I said, I didn't really see a good opportunity where there wouldn't have been a risky move. With, you don't know what part of the track's wet, what part of it's dry, and you only know the line that you're driving. So any overtaking is a bit risky. And in the end, yeah, I'll take a P2, and we have to work on the win tomorrow.
So intentions there for race 2. At the moment, Pascal Wehrlein getting absolutely soaked in champagne from Gary Paffett. It's an all-Mercedes affair on the podium. 12 years since any other marque managed to win at the Norisring. Young Pascal Wehrlein has continued the proud tradition. Verena catches up with him, and as always, I'm sure he'll be a pretty cool customer.
Congratulations, a really truly fantastic job you did out there.
Thank you. I have to say thanks to the whole team because they gave me such an amazing car, and also my strategy was really good at the end. Maybe I was struggling a bit with the tires because I started on slicks, so I did the whole race on the same tires. That's why I struggled a bit in the end, but I think we were really comfortable in the front, and it's a great result for the team.
But quite frankly, since you did mention you were struggling with the slicks, how tough was it really to actually stay on track with the slicks?
My race was at the beginning, so there it was really hard to keep the car on track or between the walls, let's say between the walls, and not to crash. So I had to watch that I'm the best placed car with the slick tires, and then at the end it was really good to be in front after the pit stops, and then it was a really good victory.
Well, as cool and understated as I expected him to be. Pascal Wehrlein, race 1 winner. So here comes the grid for race 2 of the weekend, and it's Bruno Spengler for BMW. Pole position with Christian Vittoris in Mercedes alongside. Then we see Robert Wickens and Matthias Ekstrom. Be hoping to make up from a difficult day yesterday. Supreme qualifying from Lucas Auer, P5, and Pascal Wehrlein, the winner from yesterday, is P6. Then it's Jamie Green and Paul di Resta, P7 and P8. The next row of the grid is occupied by Maxime Martin and Daniel Juncadella. Then we see the Mercedes-Benz of Gary Paffett, a lowly P11 for Gary given his form yesterday, and Augusto Farfus alongside him. Then it's Adrian Tombe and Timo Glock. Nico Müller and Maximilian Gertz will go from P15 and P16. Then it's Antonio Felix da Costa and Eduardo Mortara. Mike Rockefeller and Tom Blomqvist go from P19 and P20. Then it is Martin Tomczyk and the champion Marco Wittmann, P22. And bringing up the rear, Timo Scheider, who's had a weekend to forget, and Miguel Molina alongside him, P24. The second race of the weekend, and a completely different set of conditions at the Norisring, with no sign of Saturday's clouds. The sunny weather, perfect for racing, and always brings a smile to the face of former F1 and DTM star Jean Alesi. The gentleman at the back of the grid might have wished for a few spots of rain. We have an astonishing 4 former champions in the last 3 rows. Timo Scheider in a very disappointing P23, just as he seemed to have turned the corner with a 4th place finish at the Lausitzring. The champion Marco Wittmann starts just 1 place ahead of Scheider, and this at his home race. He salvaged a couple of points from Saturday, but even that will be difficult on Sunday. Next up, we'll see Martin Tomczyk, another ex-champion in P21. His 6th place on Saturday was a boost for BMW, but Sunday qualifying brought him right back down to earth. And the 2013 champion Mike Rockenfeller is anything but delighted about P19, well below the Audi man's expectations of himself. However, Rocky has got lots of support here at Norisring. Let's see if it can boost him into the very best he can do from that lowly grid position. Gary Paffett perhaps would have expected more, finishing P3 yesterday. He goes in this race from just P11. The surprise pole sitter is the BMW driver Bruno Spengler with Verena now.
You're an expert at the Norisring, and you had a fantastic qualifying, obviously, today. And watching you ending the qualifying with your sign language, being so happy, were you also a little surprised that it went so well that you snatched pole?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Norisring was never the best track for BMW so far, but today was good for us. You know, we have a light car, but my engineer did a great job giving me a great car. It was a good lap and very positive for us. Now we have to see. It's a long race. I give my best to stay in front, but it's going to be very tough. The Mercedes are fast.
Daniel Juncadella in the Mercedes starts from P10. The Spaniard finished in the top 10 in both races at the Lausitzring and is hoping to maintain the momentum in Nuremberg. He's hoping to beat his 10th spot from Saturday. Maxime Martin in P9. The Belgian has been one of BMW's best this season and certainly the most consistent, with 3 points scoring finishes in the first 5 races. He has Mercedes man Paul di Resta ahead of him. The Scot retired early on Saturday and will be determined to see the checkered flag today. Mr. Norisring, Jamie Green. Well, he will start from P7. Although with Mercedes in such a dominant form, his chances perhaps of a 5th triumph here at the Norisring maybe look slim. And then Saturday's race winner, Pascal Wehrlein. He starts from P6. He rose from 5th to 1st yesterday. And then it's the rookie, Lucas Auer. An outstanding qualifying which sees him P5 on the grid. The nephew of Formula One legend Gerhard Berger could chalk up his first points in the DTM. Of course, Lucas has experience of this circuit from his days in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. His first time here in a DTM car, though. Matthias Ekstrom, the veteran for Audi, goes from P4 after 3 podium finishes this season. He has hopes of the title in 2015. Certainly going well for Audi, and I feel sure satisfied will be the Audi boss, Dieter Gass.
You had fantastic 2 race weekends, and obviously Audi was so dominant. But now the cars are really, really heavy, obviously, and I guess now you're starting to feel the weight. Does that mean you're just kind of trying to minimize the point deficits at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's mainly what we can be hoping for. Having said that, we have Matthias in P4 on the grid. I think with an extraordinary lap in the qualifying this morning. He has a good race pace, and so has Jamie as well from P7. He showed that already on Friday in the free practice. So I don't think we're giving up yet. Even with all the weight in the car, we are going to try to push, and maybe we can manage to get on the podium. Would be good.
Well, Mercedes man Robert Wickens is P3. The Canadian is a fan of the Norisring with a win here in 2014. 2nd yesterday and an excellent starting position today. Mercedes also have a front row berth thanks to Christian Vittoris. He was Saturday's pole sitter but finished the race in P4, so he's now hoping to do better from 2nd on Sunday. However, he is going to have to find a way past this man, Bruno Spengler, on pole position. A terrific boost for the struggling BMW teams. But will Spengler have enough race pace? It's the tense moments before the start for the huge crowd here at the Norisring. Audi garage, Mercedes garage, and now to BMW as well. And lights out now. Let's go racing. DTM race 2. Brilliant blistering start from Gary Paffett. Look at him diving past Maxime Martin. Bruno Spengler covers the inside line. Robert Wickens and Christian Vittoris battling into the Grundig hairpin. And if Wickens can keep committed here, he could go through into P2. Lucas Auer also potentially up into P4. This is brilliant driving from the young DTM rookie. So it's Spengler, Wickens, Vittoris, then it's Auer, then it is Ekstrom. Behind Ekstrom, it's Wehrlein and Gary Paffett with a supreme start. There is our race leader, Bruno Spengler in the BMW. Augusto Farfus at the back of the shot out onto the paved area. Looked like he was slowing, to be honest. Well, that confirms it, doesn't it? Augusto Farfus and Rockenfeller both enter the pits on lap 2 and looks like retirement. A terrible weekend for Rocky. He was 14th on Saturday and out of Sunday's race already. So Wickens then is already after Spengler with Vittoris pushing from behind. The Mercedes looking a bit quicker than the BMW. Robert Wickens right on the back of Bruno Spengler, that's for sure. See some debris down there as well. It's a short race for Maximilian Goertz as well. The rookie manager's just 3 laps before he has to retire. And 5th place, Lucas Auer has got a problem. His car was incorrectly positioned on the grid, which means that he gets a 5-second penalty, and that possibly damages his good going in position. Tough on the rookie. So there is the Maximilian Goertz car. He's out of the race. As the leaders scream through, it is Bruno Spengler from Robert Wickens, and looks like also going to be out of the race is Timo Glock. The entire front part of the bodywork is missing from the Timo Glock car. So retirement for Timo Glock. And this is how it happened. Look, the entire front, after a damage somewhere, the entire front gets loose. And here's a replay of the start then, and Gary Paffett was on an absolute charge. Great momentum meant that he passed Maxime Martin and then put a pass on Jamie Green as well. Now, what happened to Timo Glock? That's what happened. He gets fair launched by Maximilian Goertz into various other cars around that turn.
Timo, talk us through what happened. I believe Maximilian Goertz, I think, hit you, and after that it was all over for you.
I have no idea who was it. I mean, it was a big hit from the back, and the guy pushed me into the guy in front of me, and game over straight away. I mean, my car was destroyed in the first moment. I thought I can continue. My engine cover was just popping up a bit, but then suddenly the water sprayed out and the engine cover went off, so it was game over.
Let's take a look at it again then. Goertz runs straight up the back of Timo Glock there. He duly rams Adrian Tombe, and it's an early retirement for Timo Glock. Let's hear from Maximilian Goertz.
Maximilian, what exactly happened? Why did you why were you not able to brake? Did you have a problem with your brakes, or why did you brake so late?
Yeah, it was. It looks like my mistake. I braked quite late. I was looking on the right side on the mirror because Motard was beside me, and yeah, I had not the perfect start. I lost 1 place, and I tried to catch up. Yeah, what I lost after the start, and suddenly the car in front of me stopped, and then yeah, it was already very close. I pushed the brakes hard. I had locking wheels, and then it was for me no chance to avoid the collision with Timo. And then Timo pushed the other car, so I think it was my fault.
Honesty there from Maximilian Goertz as Robert Wickens continues his chase on Bruno Spengler. So the margin between them is down to just under 3/10. Is Robert Wickens going to line up Bruno Spengler? This time around, he dives to the inside, and Robert Wickens goes through. Wickens, of course, has the benefit of DRS. Bruno does not, or certainly didn't, with Wickens behind him, but Bruno Spengler is fighting back. Christian Vittoris is looking to have a go as well. Lucas Auer also, but we already know that Lucas Auer is going to get a 5-second penalty when he serves his pit stop. But there is Lucas Auer, who's also getting behind the BMW. You can see the wing, the DRS wing deployed for Lucas Auer, and that makes easy work for the Mercedes-Benz to get past the BMW, and Matthias Ekstrom goes through as well. Good control from Matthias Ekstrom. I thought he was going to run into the back of Lucas Auer, but he avoided doing so. Great shots, great racing. So Bruno Spengler now being told to keep pushing. Let's see this in replay. It was a whole train First of all, it was Robert Wickens. And there we can see it from on board the Bruno Spengler car. Wickens just gets his nose in front. And then Christian Vittoris and Lucas Auer are going to buy into that as well. And, well, the Wickens team very, very happy with their driver's performance. This is Christian Vittoris' turn now on Bruno Spengler. Good driving from Christian Vittoris, and then it was a really bold and ambitious move from Lucas Auer, who just thought, yeah, I'm going to buy into this also. And Lucas Auer gets past the BMW car too. It's Lucas's best showing out on track, that's for sure, and such a shame he's got that pit stop penalty to serve. So the order then has completely changed. It's now Wickens from Vittoris, from Auer, from Ekstrom. Then it is Bruno Spengler, who's got yesterday's winner, Pascal Wehrlein, for company right behind him. Let's go on board with this splitter cam, looking from the Bruno Spengler car at Matthias Ekstrom ahead. Heavy, heavy braking now into the Grundig turn. There is our race leader, Robert Wickens. Christian Vittoris, P2. Lucas Auer, P3. So Robert Wickens then. And that's the gap from Matthias Ekstrom to Lucas Auer. Matthias Ekstrom looking very, very racy here. And of course, inevitably, Lucas Auer is going to lose out because when it comes to the mandatory pit stops, he's got that 5-second penalty to serve for being incorrectly positioned in his grid box. So Matthias Ekstrom makes light work of the Lucas Auer car, and he goes through. It's a better showing for Audi, isn't it? But Lucas Auer fights back here. They are absolutely side by side. Across the timing line they go. Lucas Auer is not going to give up this position with ease. But Matthias Ekstrom, supremely experienced, eventually makes the pass count, and Lucas Auer is relegated one position. Pascal Wehrlein's in there as well, so too is Gary Paffett. And this is Jamie Green, the championship leader. He needs as many points as possible. And he gets past Maxime Martin. On board with Jamie Green now. Championship leader in his Audi, trying to bank as many points as is possible. Danny Juncadella right behind him also. And Danny Juncadella just lining up Jamie Green now. Toto Wolff looks anxious, truth be told. This is Robert Wickens on Marco Wittmann. The back marking Marco Wittmann. He is the current champion, bear in mind. Team radio.
5 seconds to Chris.
So Robert Wickens' team radio in is Gary Paffett now. There is Pascal Wehrlein as we put the graphics on the right-hand side, and there's a problem in the pit stop for Gary Paffett. This is going to cost him a place to Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein overtakes Gary Paffett now. Normally we expect to see sub 3-second pit stop times, but that was 6 seconds for Gary Paffett, and that has really hurt. So the round of mandatory pit stops underway now. Who are we going to see next into the pit lane? It's going to be Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler in absolutely together. Splitter cam from Bruno Spengler. Matthias Ekstrom dives to his pit box. Bruno Spengler turns in now. It's 2.8 for Ekstrom, 2.7 for Bruno Spengler. Absolutely fantastic stops from the teams, and the cars accelerate out on track, and they're going to be out well ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. And of course, Gary Paffett from the splitter cam. Get these tyres up to temperature as quickly as possible for Bruno Spengler. There's Ekstrom, there is Bruno Spengler. And the team awaits Robert Wickens, who's in now.
Did you cool the brakes?
This will be the crucial one.
Yes, it is.
Yes, he did cool the brakes. Let's see where Ekstrom is out on track. We've put the graphic to the top right-hand side.
You need to push a lot at the beginning. You need to push a lot at the beginning.
Just in case he wasn't aware of that.
Clear track.
Well, Wickens is going to be untroubled here, surely, because Ekstrom is only now into shot.
Clear track, clear track.
Absolutely brilliant work. So Wickens out, and there is Matthias Ekstrom. Perfect teamwork for Robert Wickens. He gets back out into clear traffic, and there is Matthias Ekstrom with Bruno Spengler right behind him. The next one that will be of great interest is this one. Christian Vittoris is in now. So he makes his way down the pit lane. There is Matthias Ekstrom on track, going into the hairpin now. Christian Vittoris is in his box. Need a good time from the team here. Not brilliant, 4.2 seconds, but he's going to be okay. So Vittoris then P2, ahead of Matthias Ekstrom. Eki will give it everything he can, but Eki is having to defend because Bruno Spengler is all over the back of him as well. So in the Wehrlein garage, Pascal Wehrlein is stuck in P6 behind Paul de Resta. Let's get some team radio.
Wehrlein is quicker. Wehrlein is quicker. Don't hold up your teammate.
Don't hold up your teammate. So Paul de Resta expected to yield to Pascal Wehrlein, who is quicker. There's Matthias Ekstrom, there is Bruno Spengler. And Wehrlein does indeed get past Paul de Resta, and now the chase is on. This is how it happened. So Paul de Resta making room for Pascal Wehrlein to come through, and now Pascal Wehrlein's superior pace supposedly means he can get on up the road. Maxime Martin now on Jamie Green with the returning Lucas Auer following his pit stop. A bit of a battle there between Jamie Green and Maxime Martin. And there is Maxime Martin. Jamie Green really clattered into there, and I think Lucas Auer is lining him up as well. So through the Chalorès they go. Martin is clearly quicker than Jamie Green.
P10, yeah, now. Try to follow his DRS.
So that was where the two came together, as Jamie Green has been advised to try and follow with DRS. He believes he's got a puncture. This could be all over for Jamie Green.
Good move, Max, good move. I think your car should be...
Well, as Maxime Martin is being congratulated on a good move, Jamie Green is seeing any possibility of a points haul ebb away with this unscheduled pit stop to replace that punctured tyre. Where's he going to rejoin? He'll be right in the thick of it, isn't he? Here he comes now, just ahead of Gary Paffett, who's running in P7.
3 laps to go, 3 laps. 1 minute 30 to go, 1 minute 30. I cannot understand you. 1 minute 30.
So radio traffic for Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler, and Matthias Ekstrom clearly not being heard by his team at the moment. Yeah, that's just a noise. So Bruno Spengler on the splitter cam, right behind through the Chalorès on Matthias Ekstrom. Here comes Robert Wickens, our race leader from Christian Vittoris, P2. Then it is Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler, but Spengler all over the back of Matthias Ekstrom. Here's the race leader crossing the timing line. Couple of more laps to do for Robert Wickens, the Canadian. And there is Matthias Ekstrom and Bruno Spengler just into the back of the shot here. Bruno Spengler is lining up Matthias Ekstrom now. Matthias tries to make the car as wide as possible. Whoa, a little bit of nerfing between the two of them. Ekstrom will try on the switch back here. He's not making it easy for Bruno Spengler, that is for sure. This is great racing between the two campaigners here. Matthias Ekstrom has to yield now, though, because Bruno Spengler had the right line to go into the Chalorès, and he makes that move. A podium potential for Bruno Spengler. So Bruno denying Matthias Ekstrom for that P3 place.
2 more laps, 2 more laps.
Disappointment in the Audi garage as they see their podium place ebb away now. Here it is in replay. And it was really close between the two of them. Spengler squirming under braking. Then Eki getting the switch back there. But where Bruno had the advantage was he was always going to have the inside line to run into the Chalorès. And that's what he needed. On board with Bruno Spengler now, as we can see. And to get it from the high shot as well. was that move into the Cholores that was always going to work, and delight there in the BMW Bank garage. Meantime, there is Robert Wickens. This is the last lap.
Now you head into the last lap.
Overlapping team radio there as Robert Wickens has the back-marking traffic to make his way through, including Adrian Tombe, and just ahead of him is the champion, Marco Wittmann, who's had a weekend to forget here at the Norisring. But Robert Wickens goes through the Cholores for the last time and will be heading for a win here at the Norisring. He was on the podium yesterday. He's going to be on the top step of it today. And he heads towards the checkered flag now. Robert Wickens wins at Norisring. He's delighted.
Amazing job, you did it again.
Thank you guys. Great job. Great weekend.
Great weekend indeed for Robert Wickens. Christian Vittoris P2, Bruno Spengler P3, Matthias Ekstrom P4, Pascal Wehrlein P5, with De Resta, Paffet, Juncker, Dea. Delight for Mercedes-Benz. And one man that's going to be very, very happy indeed is the head of DTM, Uli Fritz.
Sunny skies for Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes undefeated since 2003. Another double victory. My God, could you be happier?
No, for sure not. Incredible event and incredible weekend for the whole team. I think they all did a great job. 7 of all the 7 cars which were in the end in the race all in the top 10. So a great effort for the whole team, and thanks to the whole team.
Mercedes with a second 1-2 for the weekend, 7 of their cars in the top 10. Bruno Spengler in the BMW makes the podium for the first time this season, and the best Audi driver is Matthias Ekstrom P4. Here's Robert Wickens.
Congratulations, that really was a very, very tough race, and you aced it. Yesterday I was saying you almost made it, and now how about winning the race today and you managed it? You must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, it's exactly how I planned it. I mean, obviously I wanted to qualify on pole, but starting third I had a good start and was able to overtake Bruno, and he was very fair. Then from there to settle into my race. The team did a great job in the pit stop, and luckily there wasn't any safety cars at the end to mix things up.
But really it was such a good weekend for you with the second place, with a victory. It can continue like this, right?
Yeah, that'd be the dream, yeah. If we can keep on doing this every weekend, we'll be laughing and keeping smiles on our faces. But unfortunately, we know this is a good track for us. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going to Zandvoort, but you know, we definitely have to keep our feet on the ground and keep moving forward.
Champagne a la Mercedes on the podium. Robert Wickens comes second and first at the weekend, but it was good for Christian Vittoris too. Pole and P4 on Saturday, and the runners-up spot on Sunday. Let's hear from him now. He's with Verena.
Second place for you today. Yesterday, fourth place is going really well.
Yeah, at the end it was a good weekend. I mean, could have been on the podium yesterday as well. But overall, I'm very happy with the weekend. Very good qualifying performance as well, which I really like. Great job from the team, and yeah, really happy.
Okay, here's the Drivers' Championship following the Norisring weekend. Jamie Green is still at the top with Matthias Ekstrom P2. Best Mercedes, Pascal Wehrlein. Best BMW is Bruno Spengler P9. I bet he's smiling.
Bruno definitely is smiling. I mean, you started in pole, then something happened. You were pushed all the way to P5, but you fought back to third place. So you must be happy, but you've got to explain what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled in the first few laps to hold the Mercedes behind me. They were so fast, and with the DRS, as soon as the DRS window opened, I knew it was going to be tough for me. So I tried to stay on my line and fight as hard as I could, but they were just so much quicker at that moment of the race. So Robert Wickens overtook me. Then I had a bit of dirt on my tire, then Christian Vittoris. And here, as soon as you go a little bit offline, then you lose grip on your tires, and this is what happened to me, and that's how I lost the positions. But when the DRS window opened and there was a train of Mercedes behind me, I knew that this was going to be tough. So I'm happy to be still on the podium. It's okay. Of course, a bit disappointed to not win the race, because I wanted to have this win victory for the team today. But still, you know, I fought as hard as I could, and I could get the podium back for Matthias in the last couple of laps, and this was great. And thank you to the team. I had a great car this weekend, and I'm quite happy about the result. You know, and for the team, it's great. You know, for the guys, for the hard work after 2 difficult weekends, to be back on the podium is amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Well, congratulations, Bruno. And here are the highlights now of the weekend.